Hey guys, happy Monday. It's Motivational Monday or Mindset Monday, however you want to put it. Mondays are the start of the week, well, work week anyway. So we want to get that mindset on the right path, set it off for the week, have a positive week. Um, so Mondays, you'll see a little inspirational quote up there. Um, Love reading them. Fraser Brooks posts some, and I get some from other professionals in the network marketing field or mindsets field, special. So yeah, any like that just helps. It makes you think. So happy Mindset Monday, happy Motivational Monday. And what's going on? What's going on in non-toxic world with Jessica? Pure Haven is having another Meet Pure Haven event tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So if you are currently a customer, preferred customer, new consultant, not yet a customer, but see me talk about it all the time, or other consultants talk about it all the time, or you've seen a post or something and you just don't understand it or really know what it is, what's all this talk, and you have any curiosity, it's a great opportunity to learn from behind the scenes. Our CEO, Miranda, this is a woman-led business, all non-toxic, no harmful chemicals. You will never find a harmful ingredient in our products, which is awesome and sets us apart from other supposed non-toxic companies out there. So if you want to know how this works and would love to hear it from our CEO, Miranda, I will be on, as well as many other consultants and customers and possible new consultants and new customers. So there'd be like tons of people, well, not really tons of people, but a bunch of people on tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So again, if you have nothing to do at 8 p.m. tonight and you don't have to turn your camera on, you can leave it off and just pop on and listen. You also have a chance to win some prizes, random drawings, like last time. So also going on, I'm not sure what she's going to talk about tonight, so I'm always curious too. So I like to hop on these and just love to hear from our CEO, and it's so great that we can have that, conversation and listen to her via Zoom or whatever, a webinar type thing that we do with her. It's just great because there aren't many CEOs that do this, and it's just great to be able to have that access and openness and transparency. So Mother's Day is coming up in May. Okay, and moms love getting, I'd say, self-care gifts, like self-care sets, and not just moms. It's great for any women. If you have a sister that is, I'd say 18 and above, you don't know what to get your older sister, or moms, you don't know what to get your teenage daughter or young daughter that's now a mom, not young, but like in her 20s, 30s, for any woman out there. And you just kind of like, I don't know what to get, you don't really want to get traditional stuff in the store where they can go out and get themselves, or, and you want to get something that's kind of safe for them, that's going to benefit them. Well, non-toxic, no harmful ingredients in anything, that's really a great gift. And when you can, like, if you're a mom, if you can get an hour to yourself and take that, soothing spa time, lock that door, the kids stay outside for an hour, and pamper yourself. So they have this non-toxic gift set, which is in the lovely bamboo and recycled plastics. I just drew a blank right there. Recycled plastic bag. It's a Pure Haven greenish tealish color. And then there's a foot therapy soak in there. So with the salts, and you can use that not just for your feet too. You can use that on your hands. You can use it in your body in the shower, kind of like your sugar body scrub type things. So that's basically what that is. Or actually, no, I don't know if you could. Yeah, you probably could do that because but I know many people, they'll soak their feet and give themselves a nice foot bath and put the foot therapy soak in there, and it will soothe and hydrate and just feel so good, like your feet are getting pampered. So then when you do that, and then you take your feet off, kind of rinse it off, and just like pat them dry. Don't, completely scrub them dry with a towel, just like pat them dry. And then you go on with the foot cream. Now, I had the foot therapy cream and I love it. It makes your feet feel so fresh, and it must have something to do with like and I don't have any more of it to show you the ingredients, but actually, I can look it up. Hold on one second. I do have the hand cream right here with me, the Pre and Probiotics hand cream, and I keep it in my purse because when my hands are constantly being washed and I need a little hydration, I put that on there, and then I put it on for the smell too because it has Pre and Probiotics in there, which is awesome. Lavender, myrrh, and aloe. Aloe is awesome too, and aloe is our first ingredient in here. And if you love the smell of lavender and it's not too strong where it's going to give you a headache, this is a great little hand lotion. If you know anyone that loves the smell of lavender, you could put it on your feet too. So in this gift set, you can put it on your feet when you pull them out of the your foot therapy soak, or you could put the foot therapy cream on it. And I'm looking for that right now so I can read you what's in the ingredients to give you kind of an idea of what it's going to smell like. So it's ultra hydrating. Oh, it doesn't show the ingredients here. Ultra hydrating for cracked heels, rough skin spots. Our refreshing foot therapy cream is fortified with organic tea tree. That's what I had smelled. So like that minty scent is the tea tree. Organic tea tree and peppermint essential oils to help achy feet feel great again. And it also moisturizes. So that, with coming out of the foot soak therapy bath, that's really nice. So okay, and the hand cream, you can do the hand cream, and then there's the cuticle balm with probiotics also. And then this set not only pampers your hands and your feet, but you can smell good too. There's a new rollerball scent. I don't know if you remember, we had get over here, the Pure Happiness rollerball scent. I have this one here. There it is, Pure Happiness. There's a new scent and I have yet to smell it, but I love this one, so that one must be amazing. Let me tell you a little bit what's in here. So this has the organic sunflower, citrus, orange peel, mandarin orange peel, lang lang, bergamot fruit oils, corn mint oils, ginger root oils, and so much more. But the one that's in the gift bag is going to be, it's called Pure Sunshine. So it's Pure Happiness for the spring, and then now the Pure Sunshine, which is only available with the kit. You can't buy it separately right now, so if you wanted to try it, you got to get the kit. But Pure Sunshine, if you love the smell of summer, now when I think of the smell of summer, I think of me on the beach with my like coconut smelling suntan lotion on, or whatever it was, that coconut smell, so which is in the rollerballs, the Sunshine rollerball scent. And I posted up in my stories, and it's in my post, so you can read a little bit more about it. The other great thing about it is it's 40% off for this kit right now, and it's only available to May 7th unless they sell out. And there's already a whole bunch, so a whole bunch going. I don't know how much is left, but they're telling me that there's a limited supply right now left. It's $79.95 plus tax for this whole kit and the reusable bag. The rollerball scent will also last you a long time. I've been using it just, a little bit here and a little bit here, or if you prefer to put it on your wrist, it's awesome. The foot soak will last you a long time. The hand cream is awesome to keep in your bag. All right, so I think that's all I got. So tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, come meet Pure Haven. If you just have any questions, curiosity, have no idea what Pure Haven is, know what Pure Haven is, but want to hear from our CEO a little bit about more about Pure Haven, something I may not have told you, it's a great opportunity to hop on tonight at 8 p.m. And then also you have a chance to win some raffle prizes that are going on. So 3 prizes, I believe, will be given out. And if you want to go, the link is up there in my story, or you can send me a DM and I will send you the link to register for the event tonight. You do have to register, and once you register, you'll get the link to jump on right to your email, and that's it for that. So let's get to our book, Our Stolen Future. You guys, we read the preface last week on Friday. If you did not catch that, I think I posted it. It should be up. Facebook does not let me go live, so it doesn't go up there anymore until maybe May. Hopefully I can get back on. I don't know. I'm going to keep trying periodically to see when I can get back on live on Facebook, but it is in Instagram. The videos, the lives, I will upload them to Instagram. And if I have time, because they are kind of long, I'll upload them to Facebook. So with that said, let's go to Omens, chapter 1 in this lovely book right here. You guys, if you decide to get it, I actually get mine on Amazon. They come real quick and they're not too expensive. And I don't get the hardcover. I just, paperback. They also have the downloadable ones too, like if people prefer to read them off their Kindles or iPads. So, yeah. All right. 1952. This is on the Gulf Coast of Florida. In years of watching bald eagles, Charles Broley had never seen anything like it. So he made careful notes in his field diary, a record that would over time document the decline of the bird along the eastern coast of Canada and the United States. Broley, a Canadian, made his living as a banker. But he worked with equal intensity at his passionate avocation, ornithology, which I never heard that before. Long before the abandoned nests with broken eggshells appeared, he noticed the eagles were acting strangely. Broley's study of Florida bald eagles had begun in 1939 at the suggestion of a staff at the National Audubon Society. After his initial surveys, he made enthusiastic reports about a robust eagle population that was nesting successfully all along the peninsula's west coast, from Tampa to Fort Myers. In the early 40s, Broley followed 125 active nests, and climbing aloft, he banned some 150 young eaglets each year. Then in 1947, the picture suddenly changed. So this is from 1939 to now 1947. The number of eaglets began dropping sharply in the succeeding years. Broley witnessed bizarre behavior in many of the eagle pairs. The season was early winter, the time when adult birds find mates and begin their courtships by gathering sticks and building a nest together. But at nesting sites he had visited for 13 years, 2/3 of the adult birds, easily recognized by their white heads, appeared indifferent to the nesting ritual. I always get my throat gets dry when I read out loud. They engaged in no courtship activity. Weird, huh? As Broley noted in his diary, they showed no interest whatsoever in mating. The birds just loafed. What had caused Florida's eagles to lose their natural instinct to mate and raise young? When Broley looked around for a possible explanation, his eyes fell on the large housing developments spawned by Florida's post-war development boom. The new homes were gobbling up hundreds of acres of prime coastal land, so Broley attributed the declines and aberrant behavior to human intrusion. University-based eagle researchers fully concurred in this initial diagnosis. Broley later came to doubt this explanation. As he continued his work through the mid-1950s, he became firmly convinced that 80% of Florida's bald eagles were sterile, a complaint that one could hardly blame on bulldozers, right? I wouldn't blame houses being built and causing that type of activity with birds. Something was messing with their hormones or something, right? Now we're in the late 50s, England. Although otters were no longer as plentiful as in early times, the traditional sport of otter hunting continued into mid-century, relatively unchanged from the day when Sir Edwin Landseer had captured the kill in his 19th century oil painting, The Otter Hunt. Devotees of the sport in Britain still kept at least 13 packs of shaggy, long-eared hounds for the chase and feisty little terriers to flush the otters out. And those who had learned the habits of the otter from fathers and uncles before them still knew where to seek out the otter's lair. On weekends during the hunting season, they would scout along the stream banks, looking amid the tangled roots for the hollows that shelter otters by day. Once an otter was on the run, the sounds of a horn and the baying of the hounds would resonate through country glens as men pursued an ancient blood sport. So sad. I don't really call it a sport when you're killing animals. So bad. By the end of the decade, so this was 1950s, by the end of the decade, however, hunters began to have trouble finding otters to hunt, and then in some areas otters disappeared altogether for no apparent reason. Other than the hunters, few noticed that the elusive and largely nocturnal animals were vanishing from rivers and streams where they had always been found. When conservationists finally took note of the problem almost 2 decades after the decline had begun, they looked to the huntsmen's records for clues about why the otters had disappeared. Some suspected the pesticide Dieldrin, but the cause of the decline would remain a mystery until the 1980s, when English scientists analyzed evidence from across Europe. The mid-1960s, now we're in Lake Michigan, all right? In the post-World War II economic boom, the consumer appetite for new luxuries seemed insatiable. For Michigan mink ranchers, minks now, okay, we did the eaglets, we did otters, now we're looking at minks. For Michigan mink ranchers, these were good times indeed, as the wave of prosperity carried them from one flush year to another through the 1950s. Pat Nixon might be wearing a good Republican cloth coat, but other American women wanted mink. By the early 1960s, however, the mink industry that had grown up around the Great Lakes because of the ready supply of cheap fish began to falter, not because the demand for mink was flagging, but because of mysterious reproductive problems. Ranchers were mating their domesticated mink, as they always had, but the females weren't producing pups. At first, the average number of pups had dropped from 4 to 2, but by 1967, many females never gave birth, and the few that did inevitably lost those babies soon afterward. In some cases, the mothers died as well. The only mink ranchers escaping the devastating losses were those who fed their animals with fish imported from the West Coast. Again, we're talking about contaminants, and then it's causing these animals to behave not normally. So first we looked at the Gulf Coast in Florida back in 1952 with the eagles and their behaviors changing, and then we went to England in the 1950s, and that was with the otters and how they changed and started producing less babies, pups they were called, and now we're in Lake Michigan in the 1960s, and we're looking at minks and what's going on with them and the contaminants, and yeah, so it's just amazing like how far back that scientists and or analysts have been looking at animals and doing research with animals, and the pollutants or whatever's gone, like contaminations in the areas, have affected the wildlife. So that's how far they've known of this, but yet it's kept on the hush hush, you know. Let's see, I lost my spot. Michigan State University researchers seeking to identify the cause immediately zeroed in on the pollutants carried in Great Lakes fish, eventually linking the reproductive failures to PCBs, a family of synthetic chemicals used to insulate electrical equipment. PCBs. Curiously, other mink ranchers in the Midwest had also faced financial ruin because of the reproductive failure a decade earlier. But in their case, the mink herds crashed after the animals were fed with scraps from chickens that had been given the synthetic drug diethylstilbestrol, or DES. That's pesticide too. A man-made female hormone to make them, For some reason, I think they used to does that too in here because I know I read it. Oh no, DES is the man-made estrogen. Okay, too many toxins to talk about. Man-made synthetic chemicals. But DES, all the way back in the 1960s, a man-made female hormone to make them grow faster. Although the symptoms were strikingly similar, the second crash among fish-fed mink could not be linked to DES, and the connection between the two declines remained a mystery. Sure. 1970, Lake Ontario. The site of the herring gull colony on Near Island was overwhelming, even for a seasoned biologist like Mike Gilbertstein. This was the time when the gulls should be busily feeding their squawkling, demanding brood, by what the Canadian Wildlife Service biologist found instead was a scene of devastation. As he walked through the barren sandy expanse where the gulls breed and raise their young, he encountered unhatched eggs and abandoned nests everywhere, and here and there dead chicks. Poor thing. Oh my gosh. In a quite quick count, Gilbertstein estimated that 80% of the chicks had died before they hatched, an extraordinary number. As he examined the dead chicks, he saw grotesque deformities. Some had adult feathers instead of down, club feet, missing eyes, twisted bills. Others looked shriveled and wasted, and they still had the yolk sac attached, suggesting that they hadn't been able to use its energy for development. Something about the symptoms seemed vaguely familiar, but Gilbertstein knew that he had never seen them in the field. Where had he heard about this before? The question nagged at him as he completed his melancholy tour and headed back by boat to his laboratory. A few days later, it suddenly came back to him: chick edema disease, an affliction he had read about as a student in England. The same deformities and wasting had shown up in the offspring of chickens exposed to dioxin in laboratory experiments. If the dead gulls had all the symptoms of chick edema disease, he thought, there must be dioxin contamination in the Great Lakes. Dioxin, remember that talk about 1,4 dioxin, and New York removed Tide, Arm & Hammer, and Gain off their shelves, banned it for having high levels of dioxin in there and its harmfulness to humans. That ingredient is not listed on most products because it's the combination of two toxins that create that ingredient. So it's a very dangerous ingredient that is a toxin, that is synthetic, that is man-made, that is very harmful to our health. And now this is back in 1970 that we're talking about this within the Great Lakes and the herring gulls and what it did to their babies. So it makes you think, because moms out there with our babies being born, and the babies are so vulnerable to everything. Their immune system is building, their skin is thinner than ours because they're babies. And when we're using detergents, laundry detergents, with these chemicals in it, and the chemicals are in the clothing, which then rubs against the baby's skin, and because the skin is so thin, it gets into the bloodstream so much easier than us, but still. And it's average 26 seconds that these chemicals can absorb right into the bloodstream from our skin. Yeah, and so now think about the baby being exposed to this dioxin, right? 1,4 dioxin. these chemicals, not just the 1,4-dioxane, but you've got that, but then what other baby products are being put on them, the overload, the toxin overload that the baby's having built up in their immune system, their endocrine system. So now when they get to be a mom and try to produce, if they can or not, they may suffer from infertility or deformities like this here. So it's something to think about. And like I, as a new mom 17 years ago, I did not know this stuff. And this is why I share, because I would have wanted to known this. This is important. And if I could have protected my babies from this by not using these detergents and knowing what's in them, I most definitely would have done so and found a safer alternative. So I'm reading this to you today because it's a lot of research done on animals that can also, I mean, we are animals. So what affects an animal is going to affect us in a way too, if not similar, but you know what I mean? Chemicals are chemicals. And they have side effects, right? Jeez. Gilbertson's colleagues and superiors greeted this theory with skepticism bordering on derision. Some doubted his diagnosis because dioxin had never been reported in the lake, and their doubt only deepened when analysis of gull eggs with the methods then available could find no trace of dioxin. Gilbertson nevertheless remained convinced that Great Lakes birds were showing signs of dioxin contamination, but he found no support for pursuing his theory. Yeah. The early 1970s, the Channel Islands in Southern California. Even the trained eye finds it difficult to tell a male western gull from a female, so if it hadn't been for the extra eggs in the nest, it is possible no one would have made the startling discovery that females were nesting with other females. Ralph Schreiber at the Los Angeles County Natural History Museum first spotted nests with unusual large numbers of eggs on San Nicolas Island in 1968. Gulls find it difficult to incubate more than 3 eggs at a time, so he immediately suspected that more than one female must be laying eggs in these nests. 4 years later, George and Molly Hunt from the University of California at Irvine discovered the same phenomenon on Santa Barbara, a smaller island closer to the shore. At least 11% of the nests on that island had 4 to 5 eggs, and they found that in these nests, fewer chicks than normal actually hatched. The Hunts saw thinning eggshells in the Santa Barbara gull colony as well, leading them to suspect that the birds were suffering from exposure to DDT. The Hunts could not at first confirm whether females were indeed sharing nests. In later work, however, the husband and wife team did establish that the female gulls were setting up housekeeping together and producing the nest with extra eggs. In a 1977 paper in the journal Science, they explored possible natural explanations for such behavior, suggesting that same-sex pairings might be an adaptation that conferred some evolutionary advantage. Over the next 2 decades, female pairs would be found nesting in populations of herring gulls in the Great Lakes, among glaucous gulls in Puget, I think that's how you say that, Puget Sound, and among the endangered roseate terns off coast of Massachusetts. I think I'm going to stop there because this chapter is fairly long, and I'll read the next few pages tomorrow. We'll go into Apopka, Florida, Mediterranean Sea, Denmark even. So, yeah, don't be, what you want to call it? My bookmark. Don't be oblivious to, is that the word I'm looking for? To things that, you know, are happening around you. And just knowing better, you can do better, right? So that's it for today. Don't forget, come on tonight at 8 p.m. with me and some of my colleagues and our CEO, just to learn a little bit about Pear Haven, what's going on behind the scenes, win some prizes, and have a good time. Drink a glass of wine, relax. It's 8 p.m. Eastern time, and hope to see you there. If you have any questions, send me a DM. The registration link is in my stories, and I can send it to you also. You register through the link, and then an email will be sent to you with the link to jump on the event tonight. And if you are struggling to what to get your mother for Mother's Day, perfect example of some non-toxic, no compromises, pamper yourself little bag with some goodies inside and a little Pure Sunshine rollerball scent. So if your mom's always like, I want some perfume, but it's toxic and the ones I have give me a headache, there's a perfect one in here. 0 toxins, no compromises ever. So have a great day. Mindset Monday. Stay focused, stay positive, smile, and this smile is going right to you. So take it and pass it on to somebody else today. I love you guys. Mwah.